How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Historical EU4, where we attempt to, as historically as possible, recreate the great powers, empires, and kingdoms who rose to power either during or as a result of the periods depicted in the game. And again, we're doing this with the Victorum Universalis mod, because it's a very flavorful mod, which also has somewhat of an increased emphasis on historical accuracy. It's not a strict historical mod, but it has a lot more historical focus on it than vanilla, which is just kind of let's go wild. As the poll has dictated in the Discord, links to the Discord down below if you are enjoying this series and want to have a say on what nations we do in the future. Denmark, the Kingdom of Denmark, Norway, the Dano-Norge Kingdom is our focus for today. This will probably be quite a quick one, I imagine. At its peak, the Kingdom of Denmark, Norway didn't grow too expansive. It included Denmark, Norway, Iceland, Greenland, and a couple bits of land over here on the Ivory Coast. So yeah, we'll include these two islands as well, just for good measure, because they start as Norwegian. We don't intend to lose them, and, you know, that is that. We're going to get in the game and just get started. And just because this is going to be quite a short one, I imagine this may be some people's first episode in this series. Just a quick explanation of what I mean by, you know, why we pick certain nations and what I mean by powers that came to power during or as a result of the period of this game. I mean nations such as, obviously, the British Empire, who came to power in the 1800s as the great power of the world due to everything that happened during the colonial era. Nations like the Spanish Empire, kingdoms like Japan. I don't include kingdoms that went through such a radical change, and their identity is no longer even comparable to the nations they were during the course of this game, such as Ming. Doing a China run as Ming just wouldn't be historical. Ming's collapse was famously historical. Qing rose and collapsed again. Modern China doesn't share very much, if anything, with them, as compared to someone like Russia, who does actually share a lot with Imperial Russia depicted in the game and the Soviet Union, who they become. So that's why certain nations get picked and certain nations don't. That's why Denmark, Norway, that isn't exactly this ginormous empire, is being picked. But, for example, I probably wouldn't do Austria-Hungary, because over the course of this game, they never really achieve the Austria-Hungary heights, and then after that, they just become something altogether different entirely. So there's that. Let's just set up our estates, do our starting moves, and we'll pick back up after that. All right, guys, we've done a pretty standard start up. We've given out some agendas. I don't know the historical context of where Denmark stood in terms of Jewish populations and Jewish settlements and all that. I don't know the historical standpoint, but they had 10% crown land and I was too low, so I took crown land away from them. But I don't know, and I didn't spend too much time looking into whether Denmark was an anti-Semitic country. I felt like that was kind of not necessary to the roleplay. We did start with maritime, and it was admin, which is cool, but I thought it doesn't really make a ton of sense for Denmark, so I just got rid of it, replaced it for economic. We managed to get some points back from doing that, but I will straight away be, what I'll do it now, I'll be reinvesting that into there. It does leave us at a bit of a disadvantage here, because we no longer have our shock damage bonus, which we had because you start with 2 idea groups, one of them down to the last idea. So we would have had this shock damage, which would have been really helpful, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. Our navy is something to... in terms of navy, we have none. We need to integrate Holstein. One of the reasons I took economic is because it makes sense for Denmark as a trade power. I didn't want to take trade because I've already got maritime. And also, we're going to be going inwards. I know economic's not a great idea group anymore, but that's what I chose. So, again, part of the reason I choose VU for this is because it's one of my favorite ways to play, and it has so many brilliant options in settings. We're going to keep expanded nations. We're going to remove insignificant because it doesn't affect us, because we're not going to be bothering with natives. We're going to keep on historical. We're going to keep on age restrictions, and we don't really care for this. We only really want one province in West Africa, so I'm gonna, I guess, leave it on. We are going to go missions expanded, because I don't know what... I know they don't have their own tree from VU. It'll be vanilla tree, and I don't know what that looks like. Shaland Universalis. Cool. I was just curious to see what this tree would look like, and it looks quite good. I think we're going to stick with this. It's not as event-led as the vanilla tree, which is, you know, for some people is a shame, but we're probably not going to bother with a lot of this, to be honest. One thing I didn't think about is forming the Kingdom of Denmark-Norway. I know we can do it here, the Twin Realm. Years at least 15, admin 27. Sweden's not a subject. Do we integrate? We do inherit Norway. Okay, so we just need to let Sweden go. Sweden stayed in the Kalmar Union until about 1550. I can release them at that point if needs be. If they become too disloyal and a coalition begins against me, I'll just let them go. I'm not that interested in holding on. Burgundian inheritance pretty much never happens in this mod, which is odd, but I don't really care. I'm not fussed about the Burgundian inheritance at all. It means nothing to me. England is a threat, but a good France is going to be nice. I've seen, unfortunately, as much as it pains me, I was a good, big Prussia allied to a Great Britain who had their entire navy wiped out by the French, and it was just tragic. I've never seen something so embarrassing in all my life. A nation built upon naval prowess getting its navy. An island got invaded because the French armies were outside it. There's no navy or land. Honestly, it hurt me inside a little bit. Okay, so we're just kind of building up. Sweden's got the dream of freedom. So they are becoming disloyal. 50% disloyalty, and they're still just chilling. So that's good. Did the Greenland colonies fall or what? Also, I should not have chose hard to colonize because that means I can't complete Greenland. Which is a shame. I shouldn't have done it. I didn't think. It's my own fault. It's my own fault. We can't complete Greenland, but it's fine. We can get enough of Greenland to get our point across. Oh, I have a problem. Because I am at the Kalmar Union, I cannot abandon Sweden. They have to beat me. Oh, that's not good. Bohemia's gone to Austria, being supported by Scotland. Wait, what? Oh, well, not only was that not on purpose, but I've just found out that I can't... I just said the Burgundian inheritance doesn't work in this mod. I can't even abandon them because it's... the Kalmar Union. Now I've got to fight France. I haven't seen the Burgundian inheritance trigger once in any of my series so far. I did Britain, I did Netherlands, I did Japan. I guess I wouldn't have noticed if it triggered. I've done several games off cam, like off recording, as Britain, as Germany, trying to get the inheritance, as Spain, trying to get the inheritance. I haven't seen it trigger once in this mod. How are we doing on Schleswig-Holstein? Adolf, oh my god, Adolf the 8th, Schauenberg. Okay, yeah, we're definitely annexing those guys. That's not happening. Sorry, my lighting's all gone a bit whack. I should have gone more tall. Like, in a proper Denmark game, I would have built a bit tall. I would have been a bit more clever. I probably would have taken infrastructure. I wouldn't be taking exploration as my 4th idea group, which is what I'm going to do. Technically 2nd in vanilla. What would be your 2nd idea group in vanilla? I would never take exploration as Denmark. But because I'm kind of having a bit of fun, and it's just like a little challenge, like historical challenge, I'm going to take naval because it makes sense. Denmark had a large navy. It definitely at certain points had a very big navy. Was a naval-focused nation. As a series of islands in the center of Europe, you want to have a naval focus, right? I'm going to take exploration 3rd. I would have done infrastructure and then maybe influence because you want to keep Sweden loyal. Maybe. Or trade. But I'm not keeping Sweden loyal on purpose, and I'm going to go military. What? Like, actually, are you insane, Burgundy? Yeah, no, you're good, mate. Enjoy that. You're good. Right, can we make these guys a brother kingdom? No, we don't want to declare war. Well, that worked. Sweden's gone. Problem solved. Sweden's gone. Okay. By problem, I mean Sweden. Alright, now that we have Sweden independent, we can give out the integration policy so that we don't take the hit to our Diplo rep, which is already massively in the negatives because we dishonored our alliance. We don't need any more hits to that. I don't actually know what caused Sweden to go independent. I think it was my leader dying and them not liking me because I'd been insulting them, I think. But I'm not really sure, but it doesn't matter too much. They're independent and that's what we needed. Wait, is that global settler increase for Denmark? Bizarre. It's not a bad idea group for Denmark. Weird, because they're not really... The Scandinavian nations are posed as colonial powers, and I know that some of them did colonize, you know, a little bit. Obviously, Denmark took Greenland. Some of them made a big attempt in North America and the West African coast, but never were more than, like, small outposts, you know? They weren't really major colonial players, so it's weird to think that they have such colonial-based ideas when nations like France and England don't get any colonial ideas. But they do get, well, England gets missions to make up for that, and in fairness, France's colonial endeavours came after the sort of end date of this game, when they sort of played a part in India and Asia. Them on big West African stuff, massive West African stuff for the French. Ah, what is this unique reform? Common of officials. And my game crashed. That's not ideal. Alright guys, we're back after the restart. I'm not sure what happened there. That was kind of unusual. As I said before, it is a mod, so you know you can't expect it to never have any crashes at all. It is modded content. It's not what Paradox designed. But the mod itself is very stable. So I'm not sure why I am having crashes. I do keep having these sorts of crashes. It seems to be something very unique to me. I've asked about it in the Discord. It seems to be apparently I'm the only one having it, so I really don't know why. But hopefully it'll either stop happening or it isn't happening for you guys if you're trying the mod. I do want Gotland to be a naval outpost in the east. I don't know why. I just do. I just love that roleplay element of it. I did the same when I was playing England with a bunch of mates. 3 of us playing. One is Brandenburg going to Prussia, one is Muscovy going to Russia, and me as England. I negotiated a deal with them where I took Gotland as a trade outpost under the conditions that I helped them in their wars, and I like that. I like that sort of thing because we play PvE. We don't fight each other at all, but we do sometimes squabble over who gets to eat up what land and so on and so forth. Not squabble, but you know how it is when you're all playing map painting games. I want that, you know. And Gotland was kind of undecided who was going to take Gotland because Scandinavia as a whole was sort of neutral ground. Whoever gets there gets there. Russia gets Finland, but the rest of it is, you know, up for grabs. But I love those roleplay elements where I was like, look, I can't transport troops across Europe to constantly help, you know, fight Poland and Lithuania and Livonia. What if I take Gotland, you know? And I like those elements of it. Pretty sure Denmark's cat there, Boston. Alright guys, so we've just been dragged into a war against the English from the Scots. I think we could actually take them navally. We can't do anything about their land army. Unfortunately, Scotland's kind of on their own in that regard, but we might be able to take out their navy, which would put a big dent in their economy because they have to rebuild it, which in the long term would help us. Oh, wow, that was quick. Okay. Is there a symbol here showing that I'm actually indeed repairing? I'm in a coastal water, but it's not friendly coast. Oh my god, I'm still repairing even in enemy coast. Okay, maritime actually has some big merits. That's pretty good. I can't deny that's actually pretty strong. It's the whole idea group is not worth that alone, but for Denmark or England, easily you could see the justification in Marines force limit, trade range, tradition from protecting trade, ship repair, sailor maintenance, naval force limit, trade power, ship cost. These are all buffs to a naval power. England, Denmark, Japan, even Spain could probably, and Portugal could probably find a good use for this idea group. Maybe not as their first couple idea groups, like I would say England or Denmark. In this mod, when you start with 2 idea groups already, I would say this should be one of them for England and Denmark. Maybe even for Portugal, and probably for the Japanese nations. Although maybe not first couple for the Japanese nations, it could be a later one for the Japanese. They don't need it early on. I'm actually milking money out of England with this. It's incredibly effective. Blockading London is banking me quite the profit. Alright, we're gonna get ourselves busy with a little bit of war here, I reckon. Their Bohemian ally will not join. We have got our Marines trained up to... Oh, okay, that was a bad event to get right now, but it's fine. That's a bad event to start with, but we've got our Marines pretty well trained up. And our allies would help us, and their Bohemian ally would not, because he's in massive crippling debt. Oh, it's Sweden, not Brandenburg. I was kind of hoping Brandenburg would join on the promise of land. Okay, Sweden and... I don't really need them both. Yeah, I'm going to get Sweden in. Don't really need them both. Doesn't want any land. Sure you don't want that land? Sure you don't fancy a bit of that? Whatever you say, Chief. Oh, good God. Oh, good God. Okay. I'm about to turn Lithuania inside out. Livonia inside out. I will not accept your offer of peace. You killed 10,000 good men with no prisoners. I'm not willing to accept your offer of peace. You can, as they say, sod off. 10,000 good men. No survivors as well. It was my own stupid fault. Like, obviously I'm not mad at the game for that. I'm just role-playing a little bit. And that's Livonia. Yeah, dealt with. So this is a really cool mechanic that I'll quickly touch over while we're here. You can build mines in mountains, hills, highlands, deserts, dry highlands, all that sort of stuff. Tropical highlands, all sorts of highlands. And they have a percentage chance. You pay 100 diplomatic power. You pay the gold cost. Then you pay 100 diplomatic power. And then you have a percentage chance to get any of the mining goods, right? Precious metals, gold, silver, which is just direct income, or lead, iron, zinc, copper, and tin, which are strategic resources. Really cool mechanic. It can only be done in, logical provinces, which I think is cool, and a nice little way of balancing it as well. And you can view it all here, which I think is cool. It could be a little bit exploitive, especially like we look for Norway, right? Norway is a very mountainous nation. I have the potential to have a lot of resources here that luck of the draw wouldn't have given me otherwise. But then that's not a bad thing. I was playing Brandenburg. I was playing Prussia, and I was trying to build artillery. And if one thing you need for artillery is tin, and if you look at the tin map mode, not a lot of tin worldwide. Didn't mean to do that. I know there's tin here somewhere. Hang on. Not a lot of worldwide tin, really at all. So being able to dig for it is incredibly good. And that way I was able to build artillery. Really cool. And when I say build artillery, these really unique goods which give you special buffs and are way more valuable than normal goods, these require strategic materials, most of them anyway. So this one requires 0.4 copper and 0.3 tin. This one's 1 iron, for example. Some of them don't, like, I believe... There you go. This one doesn't require strategic goods, but the province needs to be livestock. This one, I think, the same thing. Doesn't require strategic goods, needs to be on a lumber province. So it's just really cool. It's a really cool way of implementing depth to the economic system, which is why you're able to get a lot more money out of these smaller nations when you play cleverly. And I really, really like that, which is why in this mod, in the runs we've been doing, what I've been doing for these series, we've been seeing some massively inflated Englands because they can build a lot of mines. They have a lot of provinces too. I mean, look how many provinces they have. Look at the strategic goods here. England's a prime example of how sometimes playing really efficiently can benefit you massively. Okay, guys, we are at 27 for admin. Let's take exploration. Do we need 27 for Diplo? Not really. I want to get this moving. No time to waste. I forgot to build carvels for exploration. 2, 3. I forgot to build exploration carvels. I do have some, but I'm going to save them. I have a fleet for the explorers to travel on. Not the explorers, sorry, the colonists to travel on. And now we've gone up to Tech 27. We can click this little button here. Let's have a look at our... We have conquest against Scotland. Oh dear. What happened to integrate Norway? Oh no! Absolutely robbed. Absolutely robbed. We are now the Kingdom of Denmark, Norway. Let's start coring stuff up. Stating stuff, sorry. Right, let's have a look at these ideas. We get an extra colonist and settler increase. Ah, perfect. Colonial range, production efficiency, diplo rep, ship trade power. Tolerance to true faith, corruption, admin efficiency, pretty decent. Wow, rulers of the North Sea. Morale of navies, naval force limit, light ship combat, naval attrition, naval tradition, and global ship repair. That's a lot of ideas in one. Twin realm ideas. Stability cost, cost of ruler advisors, reform progress states, governing cost, good. Free policies and goods produced, good. Dev cost and movement speed, good. Settler chance, reinforced cost, envoy travel, and trade company investment. All good. Like, actually all good. And I could go on to be Scandinavia if I wanted to with that. Basically, my goal is, if possible, to get it to, say, Denmark across Greenland or Danish Greenland. I can't colonize every single province because I can colonize that one. I can't colonize every single province because of the age restriction stuff that I've got going on. Age restricted colonization, which is not really something I should have activated, but I wasn't thinking about it, and I did activate it. And now one of these two provinces, maybe both of them, I can't colonize now. Oh, come on. Oh, Mom. Naval research. Who cares? Ah, yes, the first colony is nearly done. If the first colony is nearly done, it's only 4 more to go. 3 more to go, in fact. Brilliant. Well, 3 more to settle. Alright, after quite the grind, we have Dano-Norge Hudson Bay. Don't know why it's called that. It's not part of the Hudson Bay colonial region. I think it's part of the Hudson Bay. Yeah, it's part of the Hudson Bay trade node. That's why it's called that. Because it's an exclave. So it just takes the name from its colonial region, its trade region. Although it is a colonial region on its own. It is both Hudson Bay and Greenland are both different colonial regions in this mod. So it should really be called Greenland, but it takes it from the trade. I think that's a vanilla thing that's hard-coded, so... but we're getting there. It now is actually highlighted. We're definitely not going to call it Dano-Norge Hudson Bay. It's going to be Danish Greenland. Or we just call it Greenland, in fact. We'll just call it just Greenland. Seems like a good name for it. Oh, we're being attacked. That's fine. We got troops there. Annoying that we can't do the rest of Greenland because of the hard to colonize. I didn't think about that. That was my own stupidity. I feel like colonial nations should be able to colonize, hard to colonize in their own region. But I guess from a technological point of view, it does make sense that no one can colonize it except actual natives. The only people that can own hard to colonize in Africa is natives from Africa. It does make sense. Their bodies are already sort of preconditioned to the harsh conditions and illnesses. Cool, another one done. I completed a mission. Not quite green. Small settler increase, please. Okay. And here we go. We have Greenland. Should probably make it a crown colony. Now, make it Greenland. We'll make it a self-governing for now. Greenland has been established. We do own. We actually have 2 currently, but that's, you know, should ignore that for now. We do own some settlements on the Ivory Coast. We have Iceland. We have Denmark, as well as these islands off Estonia, Gotland, and Norway, and this one here. We have completely established the borders of the Kingdom of Denmark, Norway. This has been a really fun run. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and if you'd like to see me maybe take this a little bit further into an unhistorical run where I maybe convert back to Norse and become Danelaw and conquer all of the British Isles, become the North Sea Empire, probably restore Vinland, maybe even go into conquering India, because for some reason Denmark has one of the most ridiculously crazy mission trees known to man. And I could do that. If you'd like to see that, I'd like to see a like goal of 30 likes on this video, and I will return to this. It won't be in the playlist with the historical EU4, obviously, but I will upload it on the channel here. It's a continued run where I go ahistorical, convert to Norse, become Danelaw, conquer, not become Danelaw, you can't form Danelaw, but conquer the British Isles as the North Sea Empire, and then go to become the biggest colonial empire in the world. But I hope you guys have enjoyed. Hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. If you have, let me know what you think down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much, everyone.